Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Bajid Hussain. I am lecturer in Institute of Southern Punjab. The subject is international business, and it is the first lecture on globalization. I hope students will be fine in this crucial period. ISP have great facility of online classes for you. So we will discuss globalization. Globalization is the process of interaction across the border, you know well. It is the interaction and integration across the border of the business. Globalization is the process of interaction and integration among people, companies, and government worldwide. With increased global interaction comes the growth of international trade, ideas, and culture. Globalization is also the process by which business or other organizations develop international influence or start operation on an international scale. Globalization is the spread of products, technology, information, and jobs across national borders and the cultures. Learning objects of this topic, in which we understand what is meant by the term globalization, recognize the main drivers of the globalization, describe the changing nature of global economy, explain the argument in debate over the impact of globalization, and learning outcome. The student will learn the international business concentration is designed for students pursuing a career in global business. Importance of understanding the foreign economical, social, political, culture, and legal environment. The mechanism of importing and exporting, joint venture, franchising, and subsidiaries, international dimension of management. It will explore the special problem of multinational corporations. The other definitions of globalization. Globalization basically means business operating at international level. And the operating of business at international level is globalization. It refers to shift towards a more integrated and interdependent world economy, including two facets. The one facet is globalization of market, and the other is globalization of production. These are two facets of globalization. We also define globalization as the growing economic interdependence of countries worldwide through increasing volume and variety of cross borders transaction in goods and services and of international capital flow, and also through more rapid and widespread diffusion of technology. This is called globalization. This broad definition of globalization, you can understand it. And there is the advantage and disadvantage of globalization. As you know well, globalization has an advantage. The first advantage is free flow of capital technology. The second, industrialization, is the advantage of globalization. The third advantage of globalization is the production facilities throughout the world. There will be production facility throughout the world. And the fourth globalization advantage is increase in production and consumption. So you know well, in globalization, there is increase in production and consumption. And the fifth globalization advantage is lower price and high quality. You know well. And the other advantage of globalization is we get jobs and incomes. And the seventh globalization advantage is higher standard of living. And the second last is balanced human development is the advantage of globalization. And the other globalization advantage is welfare and prosperity. Every person knows welfare and prosperity. It is the advantage of globalization. Here we discuss the advantage of globalization. Now we will discuss disadvantages of globalization. Globalization has also advantage, so it has also disadvantages. Number first is disadvantage of globalization, that globalization kills domestic business. You know well. Second disadvantage of globalization is exploits human resources. You know it is sure. Third disadvantage of globalization is unemployment and underemployment. It is also disadvantage of globalization. And the fourth disadvantage is widening gap between rich and poor. And the disadvantage of globalization is transfer of natural resources. You know well. And the very serious disadvantage is transfer of natural national sovereignty at stake. Transfer of natural resources is also disadvantage, but the national sovereignty at stake. And also disadvantage, they create commercial and political colonialism. These are the global advantages and disadvantages. I hope you will be clear. Globalization advantages and disadvantages. And features of globalization. What are the features of globalization? The first feature of globalization is operating and planning to expand business throughout the world. You know, This is a feature of globalization that expand throughout the world. Business expand throughout the world. And the feature is raising the difference between domestic and foreign markets. The market become one. So there is raising the difference between domestic and foreign market. Globalization make the market at one position. Third feature is buying and selling goods and services from any country to any country in the world. You know, products are buying and sell from one country to other country, from one country to any country. This is the third feature of globalization. The fourth feature is globalization establish manufacturing and distribution facilities in any part of the world based on feasibility and viability rather than national consideration. You know, when there is no national consideration in establishing and manufacturing the distribution facilities, they can make at any country these facilities. They can establish in any country. The fifth feature of globalization is product planning and development are based on market consideration of the entire world. So it is clear that product planning and developing are based on market consider of the entire world. The sixth feature of the globalization is sourcing the factors of production and inputs like raw material, machinery, finance, human resources, technology, and managerial skills from entire world. And the second last feature is on this slide, global orientation in the strategies, organizational structure, information culture, managerial expertise. So it is a global orientation in strategies, organization structure, organizational culture, and managerial expertise. And the last is the feature of globalization is setting the mind and attitude to view the entire global and single market. So mind and attitude is setting entire global as a single market. This is a feature of globalization. I hope you have understand these features of globalization and you can explain it easily. And what is the process of globalization? Domestic company export to foreign countries through the dealers or distribution of the home country. That is easy process. Every student know that domestic company export to foreign countries. Domestic company export product services to the foreign countries through the dealers, distributor of the company of the home country. The domestic company export to foreign countries directly on its own The first way was the through the supply is through distribution, export is through distribution, and in second process, the globalization is that company may directly distribute it, company may directly export to foreign country of the product and services. The domestic company becomes an international company by establishing production and marketing operation in various key foreign countries. So when a domestic company, it will become international. When when the company establish production and marketing operation in various key foreign countries, it will become international company. The company replicates a foreign company in foreign country having all facilities including research and development. R&D means research and development, full-fledged human resources. And the last is process of the globalization in this slide. The company become a true foreign company by serving the needs of foreign customer, just like a home country services. That it is clear when a company is serving in the home country, when he serve in the other country, in the foreign country, he will become national company. He will become foreign company. When he will serve in foreign, he will become foreign company. I hope that every student know this process of globalization. It is a very easy topic. You are the student of business administration and you know well that I am discussing and what are the components of globalization. The first is globalization of market, the component of the globalization, globalization of production, globalization of investment, globalization of technology. These are the components of the globalization. As you know the difference, market, production, investment, technology, and globalization of markets. Globalization of markets refers to the process of integration and merging of the distinct world market into single world. That market become a single market. For example, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, Lewis, these are the companies. And the features of the globalization of markets are the size of company need not to be too large. Distinction of national markets still prevail. These are the features of globalization of market. The third feature is the most of the foreign markets are markets for non customer goods. These are the features of global market. The globalization of market refers to the merging of the other definition of globalization of marketing that make you clear about the globalization of market. Globalization of market refers to the merger of historically distinct and separate national markets into one huge global marketplace. That it is clear, distinct and separate national market become one huge global market. This is a globalization of market. One company is marketing in Pakistan and in other countries. It become one market and marketplace. Instead, there is a global market. Falling trade barriers make it easier to sell globally. If there will be no barrier, it will be easier to sell globally of the products and services. And the consumer's taste and preference are converging. You know well, the taste and preferences of the consumer are converging all over the world. Firms promote the trends by offering the same basic products worldwide. Because the taste and preferences are converging, though, so the firm or organization promote the trends of offering the same basic products worldwide, like Coke, Pepsi, etc. Globalization of market. Globalization of market refers to the process of integration, merging of the distinct world market into single market. You know well, this process involves the identification of some common norms, values. There is identification of the common norms, values, you know well, taste, preferences, and convenience are slowly enable the culture shift toward the use of common products and services. These are the reason of use of common products and services. And the number of consumer products have global acceptance. For example, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sony, KFC, Pizza Hut, McDonald's. I hope you are understanding these globalization of products, globalization of markets, and it will be easy for you. Features of globalization of market. Features of globalization of market, we can understand that the size of company should be large to create a global market. In enter into globalization of market, when market enter into globalization, the size should be large to create global market. Large number of employees, large hierarchy, large products and services. It depends on the size of the company. A small company will be served in domestic or home country, but a large company serve globally. You know well. The difference requires the companies to formulate different strategies for each market. Every market needed different strategy. Some strategies are used in other market, other strategies are used in other market. For example, Coca-Cola, Levi's jeans employ separate strategies for each country. These companies are separate strategies for each country. And other feature of globalization of market is most of the foreign market are marketers for non-consumer goods like industrial products, machinery, computer, software, financial products. The global business firms compete with each other frequently. The global business firms compete with each frequently in different national market, including their home market. Global firms compete with each other. All firms are competing with each other, including in national market or home market. You know well. Reason for globalization of market. What is the reason for globalization of market? The first reason is large scale industrial enable mass production. Large scale industrialization enable mass production. This is the reason. Second reason is the risk reduction by diversification. There may be risk in one country and there may not risk in the other country. So risk reduce by the diversification. Increase profit and achieve goals. The reason of globalization of market is that companies should want to increase profit and achieve goals easily. Adverse business environment in home country. If there is no environment in home country, so we go on global market. Like some drink are not, or some drink are prohibited in Pakistan, so they can market in the other country. Demand for their product in foreign market. Some product is market in foreign but not in home country. So this is reason for globalization of market. Demand for their product in foreign market. Some product demand in foreign market. Failure of domestic company to create needs of customer. When domestic company fail, he cannot create the need of customer. He will go on foreign market. This is the reason of the globalization of market. Globalization of production. We discussed here globalization of market. Now we will discuss globalization of production. Globalization of production refers to the sourcing of goods and services from locations around the globe to take advantage of national differences in cost and quality of factors of production like land, labor, and capitals. So you know well that the globalization of production factor, it may be factor of cost and quality of production. Companies can lower their overall cost structure, improve the quality of functioning of their product offering. Company want to lower their cost, so he, there will be globalization of production, or company wants to improve the quality. So you go to globalization of production. Globalization of production factors influencing the location of the manufacturing facilities vary from one country to another. The manufacturing facilities vary from one country to other country. So you go globalization of production. There may be more favorable in foreign countries rather than in the home country, yet his domestic country. The production may be more favorable in the other country than his own country. There may be restriction of that product in his country, so he go to foreign country for production. For example, cheap labor in developing country, availability of high quality and cheap raw material in other countries enable to companies to produce the product of high quality and low cost in various markets. For manufacturing company, for production or manufacturing company goes in developing countries because their labor is cheap, their wages are not as high as the developed countries. Globalization of production. Globalization of investment refers to investment of capital by a global company in any part of the world. Reason for production. What will be the reason? Increase in volume of global trade. Company want to increase volume of global trade. Limitation of exporting and importing. Liberalization and avoid restriction. Globalization of the production. Globalization of production is locating the manufacturing facilities in numbers of locations sound like globe around the globe. Example, jet, air, Boeing, etc. Every country has not that facility to manufacture jet. The reasons are impossible to import by the foreign country. When one company cannot import from the foreign country, so we go to globalization. Availability of high quality raw material and components. There may be in other country availability of high quality raw material and components. Availability of inputs and low cost. Inputs are in low cost, so we go to production globalization. Skilled human resources at low cost. Human resources have low cost wages. Liberal labor law, where there are liberal labor law, maybe in other country. To reduce cost of transport, the transportation cost may be increased. So to reduce cost of production, to cater the very taste of the customer, to cater the varying taste of the customer. Reason for globalization of production, availability of high quality raw material and components of the other, availability of skill, availability of skilled human resources, availability of inputs, low cost, liberal law to reduce the cost of transport, to design, produce, and the product per varying taste. These are the same. This is the same slide for your revision. Modes of globalization of the production. There are some modes of globalization of production: acquisition, acquire one company; joint venture of the company; long-term loans; issuing equity, sharing debenture, bonds; global deposit. Globalization of the business. Globalization of the business. Globalization is the shift toward more integrated and interdependent world for world economy. This is globalization of the business. Globalization of investment. Globalization of investment refers to the investment of capital by a global company in part of the world. Investment refers to the investment of capital in global part of the world. This is globalization of investment. Reason for globalization of investment: many countries provide more congenial environment for attracting direct investment. Significant amount FDI is directed to FDI means foreign direct investment to developing countries in Asia, Eastern Europe. Globalization of technology, latest technology and distinct competencies. Some country has latest technology, other countries have not. Technology collaboration, which is globalization of technology, use of technology in paying royalty. International business environment, internal and external, you can see here. Social and cultural environment perspective, social and cultural environment. Cultural environment are perspective, social, shared, learned, subjective, cumulative, and dynamic. And food habit and international business, dressing habits and international, these are the social culture environment. Cross-cultural communication process and negotiation. Lowest low context culture. What is the low context culture? That communicate information in direct, explicit, and precise way. And high context culture is communicated in the way that implicit and relay heavy on non-verbal language, where you use non-verbal language. A monochromic culture do just one thing at one time. This is monochromic culture. Polychromic culture do multiple things at same time. Social and agriculture culture, environment culture, universal communication. You know well, these are the social culture environment. time and space and culture, culture and agreement, culture of friend, culture and negotiation, culture and superstitions, culture and gift, political environment, culture. Political ideology is the body of complex ideas, theories, and objectives. So the political ideology of the people in the same country vary widely due to the variation of the culture, ethnic group, tribal community, religious, and the economic groups. They are different. These are the political environment culture. Government can be appraisal of the political system helps us in having a idea of political system and their impact in the international business. Government may be classified into two party system, multiple party system, single party and one party domestic system. Economic system. What is economic system? It is an organization of the institution to satisfy human needs. Economic system are based on the resources allocation, and there is three types: capitalism, communication, and mixed. The countries are classified by the income. Low income countries, these are low income countries, low middle income countries, upper middle income countries, higher income countries. As they are shown, the name of these countries. Assignment. Student, listen carefully. You have to prepare this assignment. The question is, are there any risks associated with the globalization? Can the risk can be mitigated? You have to prepare this assignment and send me before the next lecture. It will be marked, your sessional marks. It has grading, and you have every student have to prepare this assignment and send me on my email. It will add in your result. So please be careful. Thank you.